Usual. I'm going to be here week in, week out. I'm not going to go away, and I'm here to help and support consumers and contractors alike. Do you know what I just done? I was looking for my glasses and I realised they're on my head. Let's get set up here. Let's get the computer on as well, the desktop, so we can actually see what people are actually saying. It's all about forward-facing camera and what have you. So let me just have a little look now. It always feels a bit uncomfortable in some respects that when I start a live stream, because there's nobody joining me at the moment, but I know that people watch this later on, so that's a good thing. Look, I just happened, just as if by magic, my breakfast appears. So excuse me, oh, we got one. There we are. We're here this morning. My apologies for being late, but the reason for being late, it's all down to BT or Sky or the digital network of some sort out there. They just slow me up. I think they're doing it. They're scamming me. They're just interfering with what I'm doing. They don't want me to get the word out. Let me just get my tea on a coaster because I will get told off. There we are. Cup of tea. Good morning. How's it going? Let's just get it on the computer now and see where we are. Just go live. There we are. There's always a little bit of a delay. Now, what I've actually done, there's always a little bit of a delay. Oh, there we are. Now, what I've actually done. Neil, good morning. Good morning. We've got Neil on from Cardiff. Neil, you will see. Good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Neil, if you can give us a like, I don't know if you can do it technically, and I never know how to do it, but it's somewhere. If I can do it, anyone else can do it. Look, there we are. Look, I'm giving this live stream some love arts. Look at that. Can you see that, Neil? Can you see that actually happening? Good morning. I'm good. I'm not bad at all, mate. 4 live viewers. It's good for the algorithms if you can just give this a like and if you can share it, if you can also share the live stream. We've been out walking this morning, Alison and I had a great walk. Autumn is here. I don't know if anybody can actually tell me what is the last day of summer. I want to know what is the last day of summer. Does anybody know what the last day is? KBF has joined us. Hi, KBF. I can't remember seeing you on here before, but tell me, who are you? Where are you from? I want to know more about you. Hit the like button, hit the share button. And before we go any further, I just want to say we're going to do this all the way through this live stream. We normally run for an hour. It's not a problem. It just seems to go quick. And every time I say that, it does go massively quick. The live stream, what's it for? The live stream is about bringing contractors and consumers together. It's not necessarily just talking about me. It's talking about you. It's talking about your experiences. And it's talking about what Swansea. Cheers, bud. Neil again, another Neil. There's Neil, Swansea here. Thanks for joining. I'm reading, do you know, I've got to put these on when I read. I've got to remember. So this live stream is not about me. It's not about my channel. It's not about promoting me. It's about trying to answer a few questions and deal with things. So to enable people to have the help that's needed out there, okay, is that what we do, I give them my telephone number. I'm going to give it there again, and you can give me a ring after the live stream or during the week. It's 07795 595 994. There we are. It's on there. You see. You can drop us an email, info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk. info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk. Do you know what? I'm always so excited because I've got that buzz I've had all my life since I was a kid. I've got that enthusiasm, and some people tell me that it's infectious. I'm not trying to think whether they think I'm a disease when I say that. But yeah, you know, it's good to have that passion and that gusto that I've got, you know, that what I do day in, day out. And it's what helps me and it's what supports me in my mindset. So welcome to the live feed. Last week we spoke about a number of things. We had people, great participation, and unfortunately, when I don't go live initially like I do, people don't think that I'm going to be there, but I'm here, and it's happening now. So I'm John Roberts from Greentop Landscapes and Design. Been landscaping for a long time now, and we do some good things. We've done some things that sometimes when you learn in this business, that they don't necessarily turn out like you hope they would have done, but we always address any issues that we've ever had in the past, and we deal with it. And what I want to touch upon about this morning is that I really feel that out there, I think that the quality of work is definitely going downhill massively. It's going downhill massively. Oh, we've got a like on here now. It is going downhill. And what are the reasons for that? Well, they reckon there's going to be over 200,000 people. There's going to be a lack of apprentices this year or next year. Not quite sure what the stats are, but it's going to go downhill. Neil says 100%. So we're not getting the people coming into the industry. We are not training them like they used to be. If you look at the training they had years ago, and we'll touch upon this at some point because people are going to talk about it, is that the training, it was like 3 year, 5 years apprenticeship systems, and you go on block release in college and you go on site. You have to excuse me. Do you know, I tell you now, I'm absolutely starving this morning, so I shouldn't do this, but I can't resist a pancake. So, yeah, it's not good, is it? Right there is what makes me tick. She is the cog. She won't come to the screen. I know she wants to say hi, but she is there. She's there. She's watching. She's taking a laptop and she's going to go out there now. 2 likes. Fantastic. That's all we need. You'd be surprised how many people... Eileen, good morning. How you doing? You'd be surprised how many people actually watch these live streams after. So I've put landscaping for the first time ever. I never said I would do this, but I am doing it, and there's a reason I'm doing it. Landscaping Cardiff and Newport. What has it been like for me landscaping in Cardiff and Newport? Well, I think it's been no different than anybody else across the country. I think all towns are much the same. The only thing that changes is the accents. Culturally, we're just the same. If it was in Middlesbrough or in Liverpool, it's just a city, it's just a town, it's just a countryside. We're landscaping the same way, and people buy and they consume in the same way. It's no different. I love living in Wales. It's a great place to live. I remember moving here from Essex back in the late 80s, early 90s, and it was massively different. I had experience in Wales many, many years ago. My parents are Welsh, and I come here as a kid going on holiday, and I used to work on the markets as a young lad down in the valleys in Pontypridd market on a Saturday morning, and then up to Blackwood on a Friday, and then down to Ponty on a Saturday. And I had that experience in working some of the shows, and you know, those early days really helped me to sort of develop and understand people and how they work and how people consume and how they buy and what sort of people would consume. The Welsh would always buy. They would always buy. There's no doubt about it. It's just like they do in other places. But what I did notice when I moved to Wales from Essex back in the late 80s, early 90s, was that it was a little bit different, okay? The products that we were using were not as good as what they were down in the south. And that's just how it was because of the economy. It wasn't doing so well here as what it was doing in the other parts of the country. But now it's a little bit different, isn't it? If we look at it as a whole now, people are working from home. The wealth is spread around in other parts of the country, not just here. I'm English. My hubby is Welsh, says Lynn. Well, good for you. I'd like to know where he's from. Yeah, and certainly, I think that things were a lot different and people consumed in a different way. But the products that are available out there for contractors now and consumer are absolutely amazing. And we're just on par in Wales with everywhere else in the country. There is, without doubt, wealth in Wales, and it is. And it's there, okay? And all we need to get the economy going, we need to start being positive and start spending in some way. We don't necessarily need to start borrowing, but if you've got some savings, and how do we spend? How do we consume the goods that we want to improve our life? Well, we do that by making the right decisions, not spending your money in the way by wasting it. So when we look at a garden makeover, for example, A garden makeover is a massive investment. People are always shocked about the prices, okay? South Wales, says Lynn. Fantastic. That's great to know, Lynn. We want to know whereabouts. It's always good to know, let me just have a little sip of this now because it's going to go cold otherwise. I don't want to rush this live stream this morning. So when we look at the economy in Wales, for example, it's doing well. It's thriving, believe it or not. It is. It's there. But at the moment, because of, I'm not going to get all political with this because I don't want to do it. There's always so much negative news out there on a regular basis. You see it constantly all the time. And I spoke about this before, whereas I remember years ago, being a young kid, we'd stay up a little bit later when our parents would allow us and we'd watch the news. And there was always a great story at the end. And I remember this newsreader called Gordon Honeycomb many years ago. I can't remember the newsreaders now that has been there since. I can't remember. But News at 10 always had this thing. And finally, they would say, and finally, it was a little bit at the end, and there was always a lovely story. But all the rest of the news was all negative. It was always about the economy and what was going on. And I think that sometimes this sends a wrong message out. So let's just remind you, this is Landscaping with Johnny Boy, Landscape Saturday morning live with Johnny Boy. I've entitled it this morning, Landscaping in Cardiff and Newport. I want to tell you what it's like for me. So if you've got anything to say, I want to get my number up there now so you can see it again so it doesn't get lost in the chat. It's 0779 595 994. It's there. It's available. It's there for you to use. Give us a call sometime in the week or after the live stream. So I've got to eat. I've been out walking. Probably not the right thing to do, but I'm going to do it. Tonopandi, says Lynn. Fantastic. I know Tonopandi very well. So what we got to try and do, I want to keep this live stream going now, and I shouldn't be eating. But what we got to think about is that we got to be positive in everything we do. And if we can create a good vibe, it starts things. If you notice some of the things I do on social media, it's not always about my work. It's always about there to help and always promote positivity. But unfortunately, what we're seeing at the moment is there, as a result of not having this apprenticeship system that's been there for many years before, we're not introducing good guys, good people, good girls, whatever you are, into the trade no more. There is not an abundance of people coming into the trade. And as a result of that, is that we're having, it's reflecting and showing in the industry as a whole. And I know this is going across in other parts of the country because I hear about it and I can comment on that. People tell me that the standards have dropped massively. There he is, my mate, Top Notch. Morning, John. How are you? Where have you been? Well, Top Notch, Bud, I'm here now. We're back again. I was ill. I got to answer this question, all right? And this is how these live streams seem to diverse a little bit and get go off at tangents because people comment and ask things, and I want to tell them I've been ill for a long time because of the work that I've done. I had a hip operation. I wore my hip out, and then unfortunately I had a blood clot. And as a result of the blood clot, it went into peas, into my lungs. I developed pneumonia and sepsis. It was an absolute nightmare. And I'll be honest with you, I'm lucky to be here. I really am lucky to be here. Oh, Tommy. I don't know what. That's a funny name. I'm not gonna repeat that. Lynn Hill says, I hope you're getting better. Lynn, I am on the mend, and but I have to think about what I'm actually doing now and how I approach things. We've been out walking this morning. My hip's better, but they're still keeping an eye on with me because of the peas I had in my lungs. It wasn't good, and the pneumonia. And yeah, I'm a bit concerned about the winter and how we deal with that, and whether you can have a pneumonia jab. Apparently, I don't mean the punch. I mean an injection to actually deal with that. And I'm not sure whether that's good or what your opinions are. I don't want to get all political about that this morning. Top Notch says, oh my goodness, you're looking good, John. I'm pleased to hear you're much better. I am, Bud. I am much better. But it's been a bit of a rocky road. the diagnosis wasn't necessarily good. And as a result of not diagnosing it, there was a delay in treatment. That was it. A delay in diagnosis is a delay in treatment. So I could have been treated probably a little bit earlier, I think, and they never done it. But nevertheless, they've been good since. I have to speak volumes about them. They have been looking after me. Let's have a little drink of this. So this morning, what are we doing here? Fair play, mate. I'm back on the tools. Well, do you know, right? I'll be honest, Neil, I'll be honest with you. It's been massively difficult, right? I'm not the same person as what I'm used to be. But the boys tell me that when I'm on the shovel, they say I'm good at it. So I'm keeping the lungs going, which is good. We're going to the gym occasionally. I'm not doing it so much as what I should be doing it. But I think we're going to probably head down to the gym maybe tonight and just get on that walking machine, not doing all the weights and stuff like that. But you've got to remain strong. See, look, this is what happened. People are so nice, aren't they? People are talking and sharing. 18 viewers. We've only got 3 likes. Come on, hit the like button, guys. I'm going to give us some love hearts to this because they are 100% there. Absolutely. Give us some likes and a smiley face. Sounds a bit stupid, but it's good to see. Come on, hit the like button. Look, these live streams, I know that they help because people come and watch it. They watch them later on and people respond to me later. So, without any further ado, let's move on a little bit with this now. And I don't want to sort of dwell on this, but we've entitled it Landscape in Cardiff and Newport. If there's any questions that you want to ask me, what it's like for me landscaping in Cardiff and Newport. There are areas throughout, it doesn't matter whether they're affluent areas or areas that aren't so affluent, they are my customer base, and I've appreciated, and thank you to all of you. If any of you are watching this now, thanks for choosing me in the past. And of course, I'm going to plug my business. Greentop Landscapes and Design has been going for many, many years now. So if you need some help, if you need some advice, and this applies to anybody else, wherever you are in the country, now is your opportunity to actually plug your business, to say who you are. And I know that you're good because you're always on here every week, and it speaks volumes of you guys because it shows consistency. Living Proof with Matt Embry and George Ebbers. Watching Living Proof with Matt Embry. I don't know who they are, Lynn. You have to tell me who they are and send me a link on that. Top Notch says, John, do you think tradesmen are busy at the moment or not? I hear a lot of rumours. Well, I'll be honest with you. I think it's gone quiet. And I'll need this now. I want this live stream to be normal. As if we're sat in a cafe and we're chewing the fat, as such as the saying goes. I think it's quiet. I really do. And why? I think what's happening, and again, it's not getting political, I think there's so much negative news out there at the moment, right? The good thing, touch wood, the Gaza situation has improved somewhat. People aren't getting killed, and that's good. That's always good, all right? Then you've got the war in the Ukraine. Not good. It's absolutely stifling the economy at the moment, I think. It's definitely stifling. That's the word that I would use. It's almost like putting a pillar on your head and you can't breathe. It's not good at all. And that's what's happened to the economy. We're spluttering along at the moment and it hasn't got going. And Britain is worse than anywhere else. And maybe it's because the way they report on things and how they deal with things. I don't know. I'm not sure, but negativity cannot be any good. So what we all have some responsibility to do is let's start being positive for a change, isn't it? You know, how much impact that we actually make, I don't know. But all I know is when it comes to landscaping in Cardiff and Newport, right, for me, if you are going to have some work done, make sure it's done right, because the work that you have done is your investment in your project, without a doubt. It is your investment, okay? And it's said that your house price, if you own a house, you have some work done, it can actually go up by 20%. The value of your house can go up 20%. This is the things that I want to talk about, right? And, you know, it's just, this is what we got to do is we got to think that if you're a consumer, when you're choosing a contractor, you're having some work done, right? What contractor do you actually choose to do that work? Because this is your investment, okay? What contractor do you choose, right? So we can look at their work, we can speak to the customers that they've done work for before, we can look at reviews, but never always trust reviews. Reviews are not always what they say they are, okay? They're not what they always say they are. Neil says, I agree, we were busy, a quiet spell again, and either all or nothing. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's how it is. It's just bouncing around at the moment. Going to get my glasses on because I want to see. There we are, 19 viewers. Absolutely fantastic. Do you know, great comments on here, great response. Lynn says, news is very negative. I'm a positive, I am positive in football. Good. Dave says, you're just trying to talk over it. I heard you, bro. We're just trying to talk over it. I heard you, bro. I'm not quite sure what that means. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've never been so quiet. Even I have big clients there. I have big clients there. Yeah, top notch. We need to speak, and it's good to sort of communicate about this because we can start working things out for ourselves and where we need to be as a business and what we're offering to our consumer. And like I said, there's been lots of reasons that I think that things are quiet. I think people's confidence in contractors is gone downhill because there's lots of people, there's an influx of poor quality work because there's an influx of people that are available to do the work because some people are struggling. It's as simple as that. Dave says you're just trying to play off. Dave, that's not good, mate. I'm sorry, but you got to go. So, Dave, we can't have anything like that. You're gone. You're gone. That's it. We're not having none of that. 15 live viewers. We've got 4 likes. Give it a like, guys. It's me, it's Johnny Boy. It's Saturday morning live. And if you've got anything to say, if you want to drop me a message, info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk. We're still going to do it. I'm going to make a decision who I'm going to give that blade to. But we're giving away I had it with me. It was here earlier this week, but it's actually gone now at the moment. I don't know where it is. It's an Adder Super Pro blade, that little diamond tip blade. And also, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be giving away some plants, okay? That was part of it. I want to see some pictures of your garden. I want to see some pictures that actually influence you, okay? It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's your garden or what you're doing. If you inspire me, we're going to be giving away one of these blades. And also, look, there it is, the Ruby Adder Super Pro blade. This blade is absolutely mind-boggling, right? There we are. There you are. Have a little look at that. Look at that fantastic blade. Look, I appreciate you guys coming on here. 22 live viewers. This is not clickbait to get you on here. This is me showing my appreciation to you guys out there and showing that you're valued.
You can talk about porcelain and how you can see people know what you're doing and then how blades are.
Thank you. There she is again. There she is. I can hear it. I'm having it in my ear now. Yeah. So what we can do, we can actually talk about, if you've got any questions about how to cut porcelain, we can talk about this, and we talk about Ruby as a company and how they can support you on a day-to-day basis. Right. So last week we never had any plants to show you. I'm going to be giving some plants away, okay? But what we want, in order for you to win some plants, right, what you need to do, you need to send me a picture, not necessarily of your work if you're a contractor, or if you're a consumer. It can be whatever is important to you. All I want to do is I want to see some great pictures. So let's just get the email up there so you can actually see. I'm putting the telephone number up there all the time, and I'm not putting the email. Let me get my glasses on again. So this is where I always get lost on here, at greentoplandscapes.co.uk. And it's actually on there so you can see .co.uk. There we are. You can see it. info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk. Drop me an email. What? We are. We are. There we are. Have a little argument, a little domestic on a Saturday morning. Nothing like it. So we're giving away the blade, but also, look at this. And we are giving away some plant. I'm gonna make sure we send it. I said the other week, up to the value of £20, and that's on me. And I want to show my appreciation. So what we have here, this time of the year, right? People are putting these in their pots. This is a cyclamen. They look absolutely fantastic outside your door. And you can not just plant, you could look at this. Look, this is a skimmer. Look at this. It's on there as well. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful plant. Looks really Christmassy. I've got some of these outside, and I know that Alison is going to be putting those in a pot sometime this weekend. We've got to get them in the ground. Let's get that. This is the thing. People always think that plants are for the summertime, and they're not, or spring, and they're not. They're for autumn. They're for all year round. You have that seasonal interest. You need to sort of start thinking about the planting. Cold Opera says, I need to fix the mirroring of the image. Needs flipping horizontally. Oh, you need to fix it. Right, okay. That's interesting. It's good to get that feedback, so I want to know what's going on here. Tom Lodge says, are you getting on with your own project? I have, bud, and I'm going to be sharing it on my social media. We've got all the footprint down. We've got all the paving in. We've got all the grass down. We've been, the borders, the areas that the borders, we've been cleaning that out, and all we have to do now, removing some of the soil and adding some soil, but we need some more soil to go in. And are there plants that we can plant this time of the year? Of course there is. There are loads of plants. You can plant any trees or shrubs at any time of the year. Frosty weather is not always good. You don't want to be doing that. But there are plants that we can be planting. But we're thinking about using some of those peach trees over the top of the I'm going to share the pictures with you. If I could share a picture now on this live stream, I'd love to know how to do that technically. I'd love to do it right, but unfortunately I can't. But the garden is looking good. We've got this border at the back. We've got these screens. We are building the outdoor room, the kitchen. Isn't amazing? You know, when you look back over the years where we were with gardens and where we are now. It's mind blowing, to be honest, and how we can put pizza ovens and these smokers and cooking steaks and, you know, putting fridges and lighting in the garden. It's absolutely amazing. It's all out there now, isn't it? And I think sometimes it's a little bit too much, because all we want at the end of the day is to be able to sit in a place of tranquility and just some quiet time, downtime. But people want gardens for all sorts of reasons. They want it for partying as well, don't they? Jana Lawrence just says, you look so much like Beau Canoe. I'm going to write that down. I want to know who that is. And if Alison's watching now, apparently I look like Beau Canoe. Yeah, thank you very much. Massively appreciated. This is me. This is Johnny Boy landscaping on a Saturday morning. It's Saturday morning live, and I want to hear from you. Whether you're a consumer or a contractor, I want to hear your stories. Don't forget, mind, you can drop me an email, info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk, or you can give me a call on 07795 595 994. I want to hear from you. Oh, he's back, Clodhopper. Any ideas for a quick evergreen shrub to block a 2 meter wide gap for privacy? Laurel, my best bet. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Laurel is good. And Griselina littoralis. It's a small dark green leaf, but that will grow quite quick. I want to see, Bud, where that's going. These are the questions that we're looking for. This is why this live stream works. You'd be absolutely shocked about the number of messages I have after this live stream. Drop us an email, info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk, or you can go to the website, www.greentoplandscapes.co.uk. Okay, I said it was for a fortnight that we're going to run a competition, give this blade. I want to hear back from you. This is not just about me, it's about you. We're going to give a blade, probably a contractor or a DIYer. We had some pictures last week, and I really appreciate that, of the work they were doing. This is an absolutely fantastic blade. Massive thanks to Ruby. And you're going to say, who are Ruby? Well, Ruby Tools make all things that are connected generally with the tiling or landscaping industry for cutting porcelain and understanding how to cut porcelain. Very soon, we're going to have to be, for a customer, we're going to erect a pergola. It's one of those kit systems. They're very easy to put together. It's only 4 sides, and then we have to think about how we're going to secure it to the porcelain. And Ruby do an array of products for cutting porcelain, and some of the products they use, they got these core cutters where we can put the expanding bolts in without cracking the porcelain. What a nightmare. And not a lot of people want to actually use porcelain now, simply because they don't understand it. They don't understand the property of porcelain, how it works. And it takes time for all of us. It takes time to understand it. But that's why this live stream is here to help and support. If you want any out of that sort of stuff, just drop us an email, info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk. I'm talking about landscaping in Cardiff and Newport, and it's great. I mean, it's been absolutely fantastic for me over the years. We've had some great projects. We've had some projects that have been difficult. And the projects that are difficult are the projects, of course, where there's a lot of digging. Digging is really, really difficult. It really is. When you're digging by hand, you can't get a machine in. It's a problem. It really is. And it absolutely takes all the work. It goes into the labor, the cost, the budget goes into the labor. And if we can get a machine in, and if we can be efficient as much as possible to actually get all that soil away, then we can start building and we can start producing. So much of the budget goes into the ground that we don't see. And the consumer, in some cases, they don't necessarily appreciate it like they probably should do, where there is a lot of work that goes below the ground. It's not going to work on top unless you get the basics right in a garden build. Jana Lawrence says, or maybe UG Rec. I don't know what that means. Yeah, Lynn says, thank you very much. No problem at all. Top Notch says, are you going to be doing this every weekend now, John? Yeah, I am. Without a doubt, I'm going to come in every Saturday morning from 10 o'clock onwards. We had a bit of a problem with the signal this morning, but we're going to do it every week like we used to do before. We stopped doing it simply because I was ill. That's all there is to it, and I never had the energy to do it, and I was seriously ill. It was not good at all. So if you want to drop me an email, info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk. We want to hear from you wherever you are in the country or wherever you are in the world. We have people from New Zealand, Australia, and even America on a regular basis, and we had somebody from Norway that actually message the other week, so thanks very much for that. Top Notch says, yeah, we are going to do it every week, mate. I'm just going to read what you say again, and just repeat it because not everybody hears it. Am I going to do it every week? Yeah, absolutely. Neil says, can't beat the look of Indian sandstone though, mate. I agree, Neil, I agree, but I think that I'm glad you brought that up, and this is for the consumer and the contractor now. This is not just about landscaping as contractors. This is not just for you guys, it's for the consumer as well. Years ago, the sandstone used to be about 45 mil thick, 50 mil thick. It was heavy and it was a robust product. The finish wasn't necessarily there. Oh, we're having some love arts now. That's what we want to do. And because it was thick, you could lay in a different way. You know it wasn't going to, you knew that it wasn't going to move. It's as simple as that. And then what they seen a big marketplace for it, and they started calibrating it so basically they could get more on the ship, so it became very thin, and it really did. So the old installation process changed massively because the paving was so thin. We had to start thinking about how that paving was going to stay in place, because what we were laying on then wasn't, if it delaminated before, it didn't matter because it was so heavy, it wouldn't lift up. But now, because it was so thin, all of a sudden it's moving around. You get those rockers, not good at all. So we had to start thinking about using slurries, priming slurries to stick and to adhere to your bedding mortar. Yeah, it's as simple as that. It all changed, okay? It just changed. Paving years ago, it had compressive strength, it was heavy, it was weighty, and it would stay in place, and we could lay it on a flexible system. Or we could lay it on mortar it didn't need so much cement. We could use wet mortar, but, I've jumped to and from that sort of thing about laying on wet mortar. Wet mortar is not always good because water is not compressive. You can't push it down, you can't bang it down, and it moves sideways. It's like laying on jelly. It's as simple as that. It's not good at all. And then obviously when it starts drying, I talk about this all the time because it just comes up and people ask about it. When the water starts to evaporate, you're left with a mortar bed that is almost aero-like, and bubbly and weak. It's not good at all. You get all those mineral deposits. You can't beat a bit of sandstone. No, absolutely. But we've got to have good sandstone. And the question would be, if the prices went up a little bit and you could buy, a quality paving, doesn't mean to say that we can lay thin paving now, but we have to lay it in a different way. And certainly with porcelain, it's 20 mil, it's a standard. But can you lay 10 mil outside? Well, yeah, you can. And you get 12 mil, 10 mil porcelain, and you've got to use porcelain, you can't use ceramic. Don't confuse the two, because there are people that have had ceramic porcelains laid in the country. I've seen it. People have laid it. Not good, okay? And I think there are unscrupulous suppliers out there that are actually been selling ceramic as well. And you ain't gonna believe me, but yes, it happens, okay? You can lay porcelain 10 or 12 mil on a concrete bed. The laying installation changes. Do you like talking about paving and porcelain? Because landscaping is not just about paving, but the wearing courses, what we walk on a day-to-day basis, play a major part in our lives. If we never had these wearing courses, we wouldn't be able to get around. Very true, John. You are spot on, says Top Notch. You're just too kind. You're just too kind, bud. Look, there's different ways to lay paving. There's different ways to build a wall. There's different ways to plant a tree and buy a tree. What trees do you buy? Is it really bad to sort of buy a tree? What would your preference be if you were buying a nice specimen tree? Would you buy a tree that was well established because it gave you instant effect in the garden? Okay, almost like a mature garden. Well, I think is that about ego? Is it? I don't know. If you've got the money to do it, okay. But there's always a chance that tree or that shrub could die when it's well established. You'll always find, any good gardener will always tell you, it's always good to buy plants when they're in their infancy, because they establish a lot more better than what a mature tree or shrub would do, I'm always concerned when I start talking about plants, because I think there are a lot of contractors across the country that just want to lay paving. It's as simple as that. And they want to pave over everything, and it's not what I want to do. We need to bring a garden to life. I think the first thing, I've spoken about this so many times, if I had a budget on anything in a garden, if I had a budget, the first thing I would buy is a tree. If the lawn is already there, I'd buy a tree of some sort. There are many different types of trees that you can put in a garden, okay? Some trees get big and you can maintain them. You can just make sure they don't get to that height. I remember a customer saying to me years ago that the designer had recommended a tree and she was horrified about the height that it would go to, but you need to maintain it. Everything that we do, you need to maintain your garden, okay? You need to maintain everything, rather, I should say. Even the car, we buy a new car, the car looks great, but you need to maintain it. You need to clean it, okay? You need to put oil in it, you need to put fuel in it, you need to get the brakes changed. Everything needs maintenance. And people always think that there is less maintenance with porcelain. I don't think there's less maintenance with porcelain, because you still need to maintain it. You need to pressure wash it. You need to put some chemical clean on it. Don't go too mad with it. And this is a whole new subject again, isn't it, about cleaning paving. Cold Opera says, can I move a 6-foot monkey puzzle tree to another part of the garden? Would it survive being uprooted? Well, but I can honestly say that we've actually got an Indian bean tree in the garden, and Alice and I was having this discussion the other day, and this is what I was saying. One of the questions I asked at the start of this live stream is, when does summer officially finish? But we're going into autumn, and when you go into autumn, things start going into that dormant period, okay, where when they start losing their leaves, everything, all the energy goes down into the root system, right? So that's when you can cut and you can prune, okay? And I think as long as you can keep the earth around it, I've moved trees in the summer. It wasn't the best thing to do, but we've had to move it. There was no choice. They had to go because we were building a wall or putting some paving down. The customer didn't want it. I've tried over the years You would not believe the copious amounts of trees and shrubs that I've saved. And even if I didn't have them in my garden after, I would always give them away. So important to make sure that you try and save these trees, okay, and these plants. But what you can actually do, but in the summer, what happens, obviously, when it's dry, well, not in this country, we have a lot of wet weather. That's the best time to do it, is if in the summer, can you move it? If you have to move it, if you're going to avoid moving it, don't move it, right? But if you can move it, what you need to do, you need to contain all the soil around the root system. We had a beautiful Acer palmatum dissectum Atrapurpurea, beautiful specimen of a tree. We had it over 35 years, and we had to move it. Okay, we were building the garden. We couldn't wait. It was so big. And even for me, I let it go. I let it grow too big. And even now I think about it, and I'm horrified that this tree that would probably cost thousands of pounds died. Okay, it's such a shame. So if you're going to move a tree, you need to contain it. You need to keep the soil around it if you can. And obviously, soil conditions in different parts of the country, you'll find that it will stay around there. It will be clump forming. If you've got a fibrous root system, then generally on a tree, if it's a fibrous root system, the earth will stay around the tree. If you've got those tap roots like a cherry tree, sometimes it just falls off. But it doesn't mean to say, if you think, the best way to think about it, right, is that when we think of bonsai, okay, when they work on bonsai, and I'm not an expert in this field, right, but they wait to the dormant period is from autumn going into sort of early winter, and what they'll do is they'll take that shrub out, they shake the soil off, they prune the root system, then they put the soil back around there again, and obviously do things with the top and whatever, but they survive. And the same process is the same with the tree. If you keep the earth around it, and you can prune it, but you need to do it when it's in this dormant period, and it's not going to struggle for water. You need to make sure you really puddle it in as well, and give it some sugar water in there as well. That's what I would do. All hail the glitch. I was injured working for someone, lost 3 toes, and had an horrific injury on a petrol mower. I'm using the guy, he never showed me how to use. I'm suing the guy, he never showed me how to use it properly. I'm really sorry that you've actually gone through that, bud. I really do. I don't know what your name is, but losing 3 toes is not good at all. Again, this is the thing, and you'll see more than often guys working on projects in gardens, and not good in respect that they don't train their staff for PPE, okay, and accidents like this happen. I feel for you. My apologies for that, and that you've actually gone through that, and I really feel for you. And if you are a contractor out there, this is a lesson to be learned, that if you have people, okay, you have a legal and a moral obligation to train your guys efficiently using that machinery. I'll be honest with you, we don't use chainsaws. I've got a chainsaw here, but I would never ever let any of the guys who work for me use a chainsaw whatsoever. I just wouldn't do it. I think they're just too dangerous. Even with machinery, you don't need a license to use a digger in a garden, a mini digger, but mini diggers are absolutely notorious for tipping over. There are so many accidents. I haven't looked at the stats. I don't know what the stats are behind that. Some stats were shared with me last week about people going into the industry, and people are not going into the industry. But I don't know what the stats are on injuries in the garden, and certainly with diggers. But I know that happens, and I think if I was pushing for anything, I think that you should have a license to use a garden in a domestic situation. It hasn't come in yet, and I think it will come in at some point. Not quite sure what your thoughts are on that, but hey, it's me, it's Johnny Boy. It's Saturday Morning Live with Johnny Boy. We're not going away yet. The show is still going on. Thanks for joining me. As you can see, I've entitled it Landscaping in Cardiff and Newport. It's where I work and it's where I live. and it's where we do everything. And I love it here. It's absolutely fantastic. There's some great people in South Wales, and they look after us on a regular basis. So for the last few weeks, this is the last week now, we're giving away this Adder Super Pro blade. Is for your little 4-inch grinder. It's an absolutely amazing blade. It's got us out of trouble many, many times. Just drop me an email, info@greentoplandscapes.co.uk, or you can WhatsApp me on 07795 595 994. I'm going to put that in there now because I want to hear from you. There it goes again. 07795 595 994. There's my number. Drop us an email. I want to see some pictures of what you're doing. I don't care if it's on the weekend. Send me a picture over the weekend. We had loads of pictures last week. Absolutely fantastic. And we're also giving away some plants for your winter containers. There they are. We got the skim here, and we got some cyclamens, and maybe some ivy. And there's all sorts of plants that we can actually use in those winter pots. So I want to try and encourage you guys to get going with this, okay? Gardening, landscaping is not just for the spring, summer, autumn. It's for the winter periods as well. But we've been so lucky lately. We've had no rain whatsoever. No rain. Have I spoke too soon? Tell me about it. Lynn says, lovely plants. They are, Lynn. I want to see some pictures of your garden. I want to see some pictures of what you guys are doing up and down the country. This live stream is brought to you with the intent to bring consumers and contractors together. If you're thinking about your garden, all right, if you're in the Cardiff or the Wales area, doesn't matter whether you're across the country, if you need some help and some advice, go to the website www.greentoplandscapes.co.uk. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your stories. It doesn't matter whether it's a good story or even a bad story. If we can help you, if we can get things changed for you, if we can make a difference in your life, if you're a consumer or a contractor alike, we want to help you. It's as simple as that. Our garden is amazing. I want to see it, Lynn. I want to see your garden. Let me know about that. So I said I'd run that competition for a fortnight. We will make a decision this week who's going to have the blade and who's going to have the plants. It's a little bit of fun. We want to bring something back. We want to give something back to the community that supports us. But if you are thinking about getting your garden done, now's the time to sort of pose the question. Don't wait till spring. Start the process now. Start it early to make sure that you're on the right road and you can start asking the question. It doesn't matter whether you get 2 quotes, 3 quotes, or even 4 or even 5 quotes. And try and understand the difference between an estimate and a quote, okay? If it's an estimate, it's an estimate, all right? Don't go ahead on the basis thinking that it's not going to go up if it's an estimate. It will go up, okay? And if there's some changes, it will go up. If it's a quote, a fixed quote or fixed price, it's a fixed price. Try and understand that. And it might sound as if I'm not trying to say I'm a know-it-all, but just try and understand what you're actually dealing with, what you're asking for. If you're asking for an estimate, it's an estimate. And then people go ahead and they say, well, you said to me it was £3,000. And then the contractor turns around and says, well, I told you it was an estimate. It's an estimation. Fixed quote. It's a fixed quote. Try and understand what you're getting between an estimate and a fixed quote. For some of you out there, you're going to say, well, that's obvious. Well, it's not. Okay, I'm afraid it's not obvious to everyone. Estimate and fixed quotes. And this is why this gets brought up on a regular basis, okay? The reason it gets brought up on a regular basis, because people are falling foul towards this all the time. Think about what you're doing. Hey, look, let's get some likes on here this morning. There's some love hearts from me. Look at that. There we are. Look. I wish I had a pen here this morning. I could write some things down. Look at this. Let's have some smiley faces. It's simple. If I can do it, you can do it. All right? Let's just get some up there. Let's have a look. Here we are. It's Saturday morning. What's your plans for the weekend? Will you be getting in the garden? There we are. Some smiley faces. I don't even know that's off, but there we are. Look at it. This is what it's about. This is communication. This is a reaction. This is what I want, and this is what helps me. Maybe we look at this. Maybe we can get a sponsor on the show. We didn't have an official sponsor, but we've got to give a big shout to Start Safety, the PPE company, because we gave a mask away. Neil from Daisy's in Cardiff won that respirator, that JPS Force 8 respirator. and it probably changed things for him and changed things in a different way. John, you're a professional. I don't know, Lynn. I try to be. What is a professional? Do we need a qualification to be a professional? Or do we need the experience? I was listening to Radio 2 this week. They were talking about dyslexia, okay? Dyslexia. And they were talking about some engineers can actually go into a building and some of these engineers that have never had the qualification, all right, but they've been in the industry for such a long time. They've had such a vast knowledge and plethora of experience, okay? Of experience, okay? And they said they know every nut and bolt that goes into the building, and they haven't had any formal education, no formal certificate, no degree, no NVQ, no HNC, no HND or whatever qualification. I have a diploma of national statistic, a diploma where people have that piece of paper and they think that piece of paper is God's gift. It's not. It's experience, isn't it? It's experience. There's no saying, isn't it? That, knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing never to put it in a fruit salad. Okay? Look at that. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing never to put it into a fruit salad. There's something about exact science and learning, but there's nothing better than experience. If you were employing somebody, this is a question to the contractors out there, all right? Would you have somebody that actually has studied something on a theoretical side of things and studied things in theory and got a certificate, been in the classroom, or would you employ somebody that has actually been on the job and been out there? Look at these love hearts here. Looking good. Eh? Would you employ somebody that has had that experience and been hands-on for many, many years? Do you know, I love doing these live streams because normally I'm a real confident person, but there's always a little bit of an edge like with this, The other week, I got to the end of the week and I decided to have a cold beer on a Friday night. And the following morning, I actually didn't feel so good, but it was a great live stream, and maybe I need a hot toddy now this morning to help me. Oh, Alison's joined. That's my wife. Now that depends if you're a doctor or a nurse. Obviously you need a qualification, but there are some professionals where experiences and apprenticeships tops and qualifications in your opinion. Yeah, but the thing is about it, I understand going through that formal education because they're learning. There's an infrastructure based learning, and I get that. But what you got to remember is if you were on site, for example, and you were working on big projects and you've done that job day in day out for year after year and come across the problems and dealt with the problems, I'm afraid that just beats the certificate hands down. It really is. But obviously, being in the medical field is a little bit different, isn't it? I lost you there for a moment. We're back. That's what happens with the live stream. What we're going to do is next week we're going to have a number up here where you'll be able to call in. I'll be able to take your call, but that comes through to this device, so we can't take a call during the live stream. It's amazing how fast these live streams go in. I've allowed my pancakes, look at this, my lovely wife had actually made, I've actually allowed them to sort of go cold. Here we go again. There we are. So I want to hear, let me just get rid of that there. Let's give it a like. I'm going to listen, this is for all you guys out there. May seem a bit sort of strange or geekish, whatever you want to call it, but there you are. Thank you very much for watching this morning. Where's my blade? Mike Lyons there in Tipperary. This is what happens. Where's your blade, Mike? Well, Mike, you haven't really sent me any pictures. No pictures that I've actually seen before. And now, unless you send me a picture that is really inspiring, you're not getting this blade, Mike Lyons. I know Mike Lyons. Listen, all you guys watching now, there's not many of you, but and for you guys that are watching later on, this is a wonderful contractor. Mike Lyons there down in Tipperary Island. He's got a hell of a story. There is a vlog on YouTube that I made about him. An amazing guy. And a funny guy as well. So, Mike Lyons, this is for you, mate. I love you loads, but you're not having the blade. unless you can show me something that is really, really inspirational. Alison says also, not everyone learns the same way. Some are more traditional learners, exam based. Others prefer more hands-on learning. I think, yeah, but I think, to be honest, Al, I got to say to you that we've really steered away from like the hands-on stuff. You know, I think kids are getting left behind, and there are, in this industry, without doubt, there is room for those people that are hands-on, you know, but you've got to like the cold, you've got to like the heat, you've got to like the rain. You haven't got to just like it, you've got to love it, and you've got to enjoy with what you're doing. You've got to be out there. I love the outdoors. It's for me. It is for me, without a doubt. Look, I just want to say a big thanks. We're going to continue with this live stream. The reason sometimes that we don't get so many on here is because of me, because I haven't been regular with doing these live streams because I was poorly, but we're going to get back to it. Maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe we'll have a guest joining me here in the undisclosed location. Do you know, I actually said that once, and somebody said to me they want to know where it is, and they said we know it's your office. I thought, no shit, Sherlock, of course. All hail the glitch. Can I ask your name, please? Oh, thank you very much. I want to know what your name is as well, bud. My name is John Roberts. I've been running with my wife this company, Greentop Landscapes and Design, for over 33 years in Wales. I've been in the landscape industry for over 40 years. 10 live viewers. I'm going to give you all a big love out here because I think it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, John Roberts is my name. You can find me at www.greentoplandscapes.co.uk. Get over there and have a look and tell me what you think about it. And if you want to write a review that you felt what I'm delivering is good, give us a review. Is that chilled out CEO? We are little atoms floating in a huge galaxy, going around and around, man. Yeah, we are. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Alison says, we 100% need apprenticeships for the next generation of landscapers. At present, there isn't one. No, it's not good at all. All Hail the Glitch says, wow, you are someone to truly look up to. Well, I'm not really. I'm just here to sort of help and support, and I want to give back, and this is what the live streams are about. This will be going out later on if people want to watch it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed Saturday morning. We're going to be here next week again. Hopefully, you may have a guest in here joining me next week and having a cup of tea, and we're going to be talking to you. This is a great way to connect and to build networks and to try and help each other. Okay, that's it. It's literally, we're on 58 minutes now. Please enjoy your pancakes. I'm going to enjoy the pancakes. I may just warm them up a little bit. I don't know what you've got planned the weekend, but we are going to get in that garden. Last Sunday, I said to Alison, when we walk the dogs, when we come back, I said, I am not leaving the garden. And I stayed out there all day. I had a little bit of a problem with the pressure washer and I had to strip it down, and I'm not even a fitter. So thanks for joining. It's me, it's Johnny Boy. That's it for the live stream. Alison says, have a great week.